I think I got to give the footnote or the credit, and I was never good at those bibliographies and citing my sources very good, but I think Abe Jackson or though I think those guys said it after a little bit about kind of put that in my mind, and I kind of said, yeah, it really is. I mean, especially with the way they've done it and just the kind of guys they are, they're going to be remembered for these games, and there's been so many of these games that you're going to look back on and go, oh, that was remarkable, and so that makes it historic. And for me, it's going to be for sure just because of the journey we've been on together, that how much we've all enjoyed it and how we've done such a great job of staying in the moments and maybe better than any team I've ever had in those ways. So, I'd have to say it is, absolutely. And they're going to leave a legacy here, and they're not done. And their legacy is going to be, you're going to look back on some great memories that we've had with this group, and the memories in the games of what they've been able to accomplish. So, yeah, I'd say that it's going to go down as a historic team.
When you get in that situation, do you feel like you have to coach differently, or
in which situation?
The historic teams, the special teams.
No. That's what's made them this way, is because they're the most coachable group. They're the most, together group. They're the most, remarkable in the way that Najee steps up against San Diego State, Lucas steps up against Air Force, Max stepped up in those games when we were short some guys, and they've all done it. Pavlev stepped up. Everybody that has contributed, and I don't know if we've ever had a team that we've had everybody contribute at such a high level in the moments we need them most.
You mentioned, you think back to the end of last season. The day after last season ended, your goal this year was to win the Mountain West. It's been 200 whatever days. Your goal is to win the league, and you're 10 days away from maybe making that happen. You're in control of your own destiny here. I know you're going one game at a time, but what's the feeling like when you put so much work into it and it's right in front of you and you got a shot to accomplish a big goal in this program here in the next week and a half?
Well, there's a lot of really, really tough games left, and you guys should know. as you've seen these, there's such a fine line between the first place team and the sixth place team. It's two possessions, in one game, and one possession in another game, and one, on and on and on. And so the like I said, the magic of this team is how we've stayed in these moments. So we're not looking at that really. It's just the can we go play against the more, you look in the last 3 or 4 weeks, he's playing as good as, if you cut out the first month of the conference, now they're one of those teams that's in a fight for a championship and is as good as anybody, and that's who we're facing on Saturday. And like I always say, it's not who you play, it's when you play them, and we're playing them, and they're playing their best. Their numbers over the last 5 games have been remarkable, and they're in the top of every category if you just take those last 5 or 6 or 7 games, but whatever it is. But so we know that, and our guys know that, and we're going to have to play one of our best games of the year on Saturday to accomplish the mission down there.
Does being in control of your own destiny, though, change anything? Knowing that, hey, we don't have to scoreboard watch, root for anybody else. You got 3 games left. You could be league champions here if you take care of your own business.
Yeah, and again, like I said, the magic of this team is staying in these moments and not thinking. And that's quite a hill to climb because of, think about those 3 games. That's, you're talking about, these really, really good teams that, hey, we're one shot away from, losing every game. It's crazy what a fine line it's been, and that's this league. You look at up and down it all, and night in, night out. To win a game now at this point of the season in this league is, it's remarkable how hard it is. So we know that, and like I said, though, that is the magic of what we've been doing, is being able to keep our minds, really compartmentalized and really focused on the task at hand, and from the moment we start prepping until the moment we're done with that game, this team's done a better job of any team maybe I've ever coached of being focused, being ready, stepping up to the challenges and all the things that go along been able to accomplish the mission.
You didn't have E-Man last time against UNLV and the tear that Hamilton's been on.
Oh.
What does E-Man give you defensively to maybe help contain that dude?
Well, that first of all, talk about Hamilton. I mean, he's not just in our conference. He's maybe one of the best scorers in the country. I mean, he is. Oh, he is a handful. And when you look at a guy like that, there's not many. You know, you look at historically throughout college basketball, the teams I've seen and the great scores. You know, sometimes there's a great scorer and you do an awesome job on him, and you can limit his points and limit. He seems to be one of those guys that when he gets it going, it doesn't matter what the opponents are doing. It really doesn't. You run two guys at him, you know, like Colorado State did everything they could on that night. There was no stopping him. You know, ends up with 45. I mean, that was one of the most remarkable games. You know, I thought we did a good job on him against 32. And, you know, I thought that was about an average night for him right now. Literally that's how good he is. At the ball goes in, he's got an array of ways to get it in. You know, he can make threes. He can make threes off the dribble. He can come off ball screens, and he's making the right plays too. He's, you know, his assists are up. He's really evolved and grown as a player. And credit to their program and those guys. And that's, you know, they're all playing. It's not just him. They're all doing a good job, but. He's one of the hardest guys to stop in the country.
Najee's mentioned his maturity over the last couple of years. I mean, just from your point of view, what's the difference in Najee Smith, like when he was playing AAU with Max, and Najee Smith now?
Well, Najee's an interesting cat because he's kind of a, you know, he's a woke guy. You know, he's kind of a free spirit, and you know, you have to, you know, and I knew that when we put him, you know, when I watched him all those years when he was young, and you know, he's the guy that you can throw it to him on the block and he doesn't know what move to make, so he just turns and dunks it backwards. You know, like you just got to be fine with that. Or he drives left and he dribbles with his right hand and somehow sneaks it by the guy and gets it up in. You just got to be, you know, there's no like Naj. No, you're supposed to don't tell him what the coach book says. Let him be Najee, and so I think we had a really good understanding of that. Like just let Naj be Naj, and and you'll get good things. And he's given us this team great spirit. He's a deep thinking guy. He's kind of wise beyond his years, you know, and we just kind of, you know, let him. That's what's neat about this team. There's so many different personalities, and they all get to be who they are. But in the end, the bottom line and the common characteristic, they're all tough, and they all care about their teammates a lot and care about this team. That's what's holding this team together so tightly. And Naj is a great example of that too. With you know, he barely played the game before, and without him, we don't beat San Diego State. And you know, that's why Naj gets a Powerade today.
I think his quote after the game was, "I'm quote an unorthodox player."
Yeah, he is, no doubt. Yeah, completely. And so as coaches, you just got to be comfortable with it. Like, let Naj be Naj is what we say. Like, sometimes it's a head scratcher. You're like, what in the heck is that? You just live with it and let it, because he'll make a lot of great plays like he did. You know, you just let him fly around, and his arms are longer than you think, so he can block shots, and he's a quick jumper, and he can make plays other guys can't make.
Dude, going down there, you did this last year or the year before, I guess it was 2 years ago, where you played in Vegas pretty close to the end of the season.
Yeah. We got our hats handed to us that night.
I mean, is there any, I know it's a different court and they set it up differently, but is there any, do you like going later in the season maybe to get ready for the tournament?
No, I mean, I don't think that matters, you know, because it's a neutral court. But I don't really think that matters. It's, you know, especially this tournament this year, it's going to be whoever plays the best on those nights. And I'm talking about every game. I'm talking about if 11 played one, if 11 played great and one didn't, 11's going to win this year. It's just crazy. You know, I think it's the best top to bottom it's been.
Hamilton being left-handed, does that impact your?
It does. I think it's a big advantage, and that's, you know, I always like to recruit lefties, and you know, I recruited Milan, and he came here as a right-handed player, and I think he's left-handed. So we convert him to left hands too. It is. It's hard to Justinian. There was a lot of times I'd see him make shots where, they challenged the wrong hand because guys are used to playing against righties a little bit more. I think it's an advantage.
UNLV, I don't know, are they back? But you're the dean of coaches in this league now, so you've seen kind of UNLV the last 10, 11
I'm giving
years.
that to Dutcher. You count the time served as
That could be
as
fair.
an assistant. Dutch is the dean.
How important
That
is
makes
UNLV?
that makes him sound older too. So
How important is UNLV basketball to be legit, respectable, like a flagship of this league? Like, are they close to being that again?
it's not important to me. No, I mean, think about it. The history, they won national championships or I think one, but they played in another one, I think. And I mean, historically, yes, absolutely. It's been, you got New Mexico, you got great home court advantages, great places that are national brands, and this is a basketball league when you look at it. We don't have 2 national championships in football in this league. We got a junior college national championship, but that's it. So that is amazing, and there's not many leagues that can say that. And like you said, UNLV has been one of those programs, and they got a great coach now, and they're heading in the right direction. I know that.